Wayne Williams Case Evidence Staff Study. The first victim would be Edward Hope Smith in the Atlanta child murders. His body would disappear sometime after midnight on July 29, 1979, and this would begin 22 months of terror for the city of Atlanta. With the killing spree beginning, tensions rose in the city. Obviously, law enforcement was then put under a lot of pressure to find the killer. In response, a task force was formed by the city of Atlanta, and they acted with a sense of urgency. A local newspaper right around this time would run an article about the fiber evidence. This would raise concerns for law enforcement that the murderer would change their MO and start dumping the bodies in the water, which is exactly what happened. Also, some bodies were found naked, and some victims were found with clothes on that were not theirs. The James Jackson Parkway Bridge would be staked out and put under surveillance due to bodies being found in the water. On the night of May 22nd, 1981, one of the surveillance team members heard a loud splash, which would result in a 1970 white Chevrolet station wagon being pulled over, which was driven by one Wayne Williams. And this now makes Wayne Williams a suspect. 2 days later, the last victim would be found in the Atlanta child murders, and that victim would be Nathaniel Cater, and he was found about 2 miles downstream. Wayne Williams would be arrested on June 21st, 1981, and charged with the murder of Nathaniel Carter and Jimmy Wayne Payne. At trial, the trial revolved around the fiber evidence, since it was the only physical evidence that the prosecution had. And all other evidence would be used to complement it. The yellowish-green fibers were very unique, which were found on the victims because they were shaped like a boomerang, and this would be one essential fact that would lead them to being matched to the carpet in the Williams family home, because their carpet had the same yellowish-green carpet, and those fibers were shaped like boomerangs as well. The red fibers found on the bodies were also unique, and when samples were taken from the 1970 Chevrolet station wagon that the Williams family owned, those red fibers matched to the carpet fibers in the car, and what made these even more unique was that Chevrolet did not use this carpet on any cars after 1973, only on cars predated 1973. In analyzing the fibers from Williams family home in the car to the fibers on the victims was a very tedious process and produced overwhelming results. Hair fibers. There was hair fiber analysis done on both human and dog hair. There was never any argument about the collection and preservation of these fibers during the initial trial in late 1981 that went into 1982, nor when DNA testing would be requested in 2007. With that being said, Williams was in fact convicted of the murders of both Cater and Payne. He is serving 2 life sentences. In 2007, a judge did allow DNA testing on the fibers. The hair fiber and the DNA testing would show that the mitochondrial DNA in those fibers in the human hairs match those of Wayne Williams, so he could not be eliminated as a donor. And the same could be said about the dog hairs being a match to Sheba, the Williams family dog, in the mitochondrial DNA testing. Sheba could not be eliminated as the donor. The DNA obviously had to be extracted from the samples, then compared and contrasted, which is done in the DNA laboratory. The differences in technology today versus then is we had the DNA technology, whereas it wasn't available back then, and also there were no computer databases, so in trying to find the manufacturer of the carpets and the fibers took footwork, contacting textile manufacturers to find out who produced that. Today, in Wayne Williams is in Hancock State Prison in Hancock County, Georgia, and all his appeals have been denied, but he maintains his innocence. Thank you. This ends the audio portion of this assignment.